Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to Crushing Land. Happy that you're here to join us again today for another segment. Happy to talk to you guys about another thing that comes up a lot in real estate investing that all of us should be looking at, and that is working with the right people, how we do it, what we do, things like that. Now, some of these things are very easy to do, working with the right people, right? For example, any transactions that we're doing, we're going to have relationships with title companies or attorneys, depending on the state. They're going to be handling the closing, things like that. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, something that everybody has kind of already in mind. There are other aspects, though, of this that we want to get professionals involved in. And then one of the things is how involved we are when we're working with them. I was actually just talking to a student about this a little bit ago. I was talking to another student about it, I think a couple weeks ago, and kind of brought this up into mind as something that comes up a lot. So for example, last month when we did our Crushing Land guest series, guest speaker episode, we had Tyler on. He is a soil scientist. Now, if you're going to go down that road of having the soil tested and things like that, you want to work with the right person. So what does that involve on our end? Literally, it's just picking up the phone or sending an email, in my case, to him and saying, hey, Tyler, this is a property that I would like to have evaluated. When can you do it? And that was one that, he lets me know, he handles the work, and he lets me know where it's at based on that. I'm out of the picture at that point, right? I've left it with him. Another example was one where we knew that we were going to have a septic engineer involved, and they were going to have to go out and design a system based on the property. It was a very high-end, desirable property, but because of the soils, we knew that there was going to be some extra work involved, and so we decided to go ahead and do that work. And so what's involved there? Well, again, it's turning it over to them and letting them do their work. We're not involved when we get these things, and it's just literally a phone call or an email. Now, if a lot of time goes by or there's some questions or things like, there's nothing wrong with checking in, but that's literally all it is. It's just checking in and letting them do their job. And there's plenty of other examples of this. Perhaps you have a property that needs to go through probate, or perhaps it has title issues, and your attorney is going to work on that for you. Great. You hand the file over to them. You let them get involved in it. And then you step back, you focus on other aspects of your business that you actually can control. These people don't need to be micromanaged. They don't need you involved. In fact, some of them get annoyed if you're checking in too often. You can check in time to time, just quick email, quick phone call. Hey, just seeing how it's going with X, whatever it may be, but you leave it at that. That's it. You let them do it. I've got somebody that I was talking to right now that they're talking to a real estate broker on a very high-end property that they're working on. You have those conversations with them. If they take the listing, if they're handling it, you let them handle it. That's it, right? You check in time to time. How's it going? Because you may have to adjust your pricing, or you may have to adjust the way that you're doing things a little bit, but that's it, right? So there's different examples here of people that we work with on different properties, in different arenas, in different things like that, that we have involved in our deals, in our transactions, that makes sense. But it's also something that's important for us to do, that sometimes it's hard, is to let go. When you have them involved, let them do their work. In most of these cases, they're not going to make a penny unless they actually get it done. So for example, if the attorney is we're sorting out a title issue, they have to sort it out, to get paid. If the broker is taking a listing for you, they have to sell the property to get paid, right? If you're having a septic engineer design a system for you, they actually have to design a workable system in order to get paid. These people want you to be successful because that's how they, in turn, are going to make money in their profession. So a lot of times it's just being hands off with it. It's hard for some people, right? We want to be so involved in our businesses, and we want to know everything that's going on, and we want to push it and all that. But it's better to have these good relationships, have quality people that you can work with, because it's going to allow you to get deals done that other people won't do. When I mentioned the soil tests, when I mentioned designing the septic, these are properties that other people abandoned because of these issues. And I came in and took them on But I also had these relationships and I was able to just pass it along to somebody else and let them take over it for me. I'm not actively being involved. I'm not spending my time. I'm not spending my resources. Yes, I'm spending some money to do it, but I'm not actively involved. I can still concentrate on other aspects of my business, right? When I've listed it with agents, when I've done things like that, it's like, okay, that's my decision. I'm passing it along to them. I can now focus on other things that are important, focus on my time, focus on areas that I can control, right? Inside of my business, areas that I can actually make a difference in rather than focusing on these things that I've passed on to them. So as you're growing, as you get certain types of properties, as you look at ways to expand all of those things, you want to have these professionals, these different people, and a lot of them have been on here, honestly, right? We've brought them in and you've heard from them, and you'll hear from more. Surveyors, as another example, we're going to have a surveyor join us. We've had properties surveyed in certain occasions, and we'll talk about when that's important. But again, when it was time to get it surveyed, it was, this is what we need. Here it is. We pass it along to them, and then they let us know when they're done, right? So again, it makes sense in certain occasions to work with these different professionals, especially as you're growing, as you're expanding your business. But even more importantly, it's letting go of control of it, letting them do their jobs, letting them focus on the things that they need to get done. They're increasing value for you by having these things get done. So just let them do their work. But again, something to look at, right? Work with the right people. That's important, but allow them to do the work. You're working along with them, which is basically just giving it to them, checking in time to time, making sure everything's good, and obviously going from there. So again, everybody, thanks for joining us this week. Just like every other week, we'll be back next week with something very relative, something important to your land investing business. So again, thanks for joining us.